Good morning YouTubians, it's Kim, it's Ghost. You can call me Alan. It is Monday the 14th of October 2024. It's a Blu-ray release day here in the United Kingdom. Best day of the week. But what's out today? I know Twisters is coming out and I will be picking that title up, but I'm not going to show it later in the conclusion. And that's because I want to see the films before I talk about them. And that's my preference lately. I want to watch the films first. So you know, all the movies I talk about later, I've sat and watched every single one. There's only going to be 4 today, not a massive amount you may say, but I did receive 2 box sets from Imprint Films during the week and I'm currently making my way through them. One of the box sets has 7 films, so it's going to be a big conclusion next week alongside Twisters as well. So it's time for me to get my baseball cap, head to Costa for my morning latte, not a sponsor, and then on to HMV where I'll show you all the latest releases. I'll see you all in Costa. So this particular Costa is situated inside Churchill Square, opposite Mankind and next to what used to be Debenhams, but soon to be IKEA, who've actually purchased the entire shopping mall. Anyway, I'm here 8:30 before they've even put out the food. So into HMV, there isn't a massive amount out today, title-wise, but I will do my best to talk about each and every one. Looks like HMV still want you to perform inside their store. And the big title of the day is Twisters. This is a disaster film about a former storm chaser who returns to monitor and track tornadoes in central Oklahoma. Stars Daisy Edgar-Jones, Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos and Maura Tierney. The Blu-ray comes in at £14.99, comes with a high gloss slipcover and a runtime 122 minutes. The 4K, which has a different cover image, is priced at £24.99. There's also a DVD, yet a different cover image and slipless, and that is priced at £9.99. They all carry a 12 certificate. And the original Twister is getting a 4K release today, complete with the flying cow on the front cover. Stars Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, and this is priced at £19.99, and this too carries a 12 certificate. Duchess next from Vertigo releasing. This is about a female small-time criminal called Scarlett who tries to get into the diamond smuggling business. After a deal goes sideways and she's left for dead, it then becomes a revenge movie. This one is priced at £14.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. The Stones and Brian Jones next, a biographical music documentary from last year put out by Dazzler Media. This covers Brian's life from childhood to his death in 1969, but don't expect it to feature any songs from the band as apparently there aren't any in this release. It's got a runtime of 93 minutes and is priced at £9.99. 2 films in the same release next, I Walked with a Zombie and The Seventh Victim on the Criterion label. I Walked with a Zombie is a horror from 1943. It was about a nurse who was caring for a sugar plantation owner's wife in the Caribbean, and she gets help from the locals by introducing voodoo as part of the cure. The other film is The Seventh Victim, another horror also from 1943. It's about a young woman and a case of wrong place, wrong time. She's out looking for a missing sister in New York, but discovers a seedy underground cult that practices devil worship. £22.99 for the Blu-ray and £34.99 for the 4K. Ranking of Kings, The Treasure Chest of Courage Season 2 next. This Japanese anime is a 2-disc set with a runtime of 250 minutes. Features a description on the back that's also written in French for some reason. £34.99 for this release today. Next is a re-release of The Omen, the 1976 horror directed by Richard Donner. This stars Gregory Peck and little Harvey Spencer Stevens as Damien the Antichrist Child. This won Jerry Goldsmith the Academy Award for Best Original Score. Just £7.99 for this release today. And ending on a high, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K with a high gloss slipcover. This 1984 supernatural slasher was written and directed by Wes Craven and gave us the greatest horror character ever put to screen, Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund. It also gave us Johnny Depp in his first film role as Glenn Lance. £19.99 for this release today. Everybody, welcome back. Got 4 titles to show you today, all from 88 films, 3 of them on their Tygon label and 1 of them is from the year 2000. Let's crack on with it. First one to show you is Doomwatch. This is also known as Island of Ghouls in the USA. It's a British sci-fi thriller from 1972, which is a spin-off of a TV show from 1970 of the same name, which ran for 3 seasons. Premise of this is relatively simple. You've got a scientist from London who is sent to a remote island off the coast of England called Balf to monitor the effects of seashore life after an oil tanker has spilt its contents in waters nearby. Scientists, when he arrives, soon gets the impression he's not very welcome. and to be fair, he isn't really. Scientist is Dr. Del Shaw, being played by Ian Banning. Now, you may know him from Gandhi, Watcher in the Woods and Waking Ned, all good films. Doctor works for an organisation known as Doomwatch, who monitor environmental disasters that affect the world's populations. Anyway, as I said, Dr. Shaw, he isn't very welcome on the island, and this is because the inhabitants are being slowly poisoned by growth hormones and radioactive waste that are being dumped in metal drums off the shoreline, and as a result it makes the population aggressive and deformed. Now, I won't say any more story-wise, but I will also mention it stars Judy Geeson as a local school teacher, Victoria Brown. Judy starred in Brannigan, which I showed on the 21st of August last year. There's also George Sanders, who you may know voiced the character of Shere Khan in Disney's Jungle Book in 1967. Now, this film starts off a little bit grainy, but it does improve as it goes along. This was filmed around Pinewood Studios as well as around the coast of Cornwall, in particular Mevagissey. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 32 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Slip cover and the cover have the same image, but that front cover is reversible and you have a different cover inside. The front cover image, which by the way is from the artist Sean Longmore, has been put onto the disc. And inside you get a 20-page booklet. So that was Doomwatch from 1972. Next title is The Blood Beast Terror. It's a horror from 1968 directed by Vernon Sewell, who also made Curse of the Crimson Altar, the same year in fact. This film opens up with an explorer in a canoe, supposedly going down the Amazon to stop and gather some strange cocoons that are hanging on a tree. But if you listen to the audio commentary, the editor, Harold Lanning, tells us it was actually filmed on the Thames, coupled with some stock footage of exotic animals. So this movie, set in the 1800s, there's a bunch of gruesome murders happening just outside London. And Inspector Quennell is in charge of the case. Quennell was being played by Peter Cushing. A witness comes forward to give a disturbing account of these murders, saying that the culprit is a large winged animal who rips out the throat of its victims, drinking the blood as well. And soon after giving this statement, he is committed to a local asylum. Then later they find some animal scales at another crime scene, so they take it to an entomologist for identification. The entomologist is Dr. Carl Manninger, being played by Robert Fleming. Manninger's hiding the secret, and by the way, his daughter is Claire, being played by Wanda Ventham, who is Benedict Cumberbatch's real-life mother. And she was born right here in Brighton. There she is, right there in that middle picture. Anyway, I'm digressing. I won't say any more. This was a very good watch. I will also mention it stars Roy Hudd as Smiler. He is the morgue attendant. He's also the comic relief in the film. This was his first film appearance. Picture quality on this is extremely good, and it's got a runtime of 1 hour 28 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The slipcover and the cover have the same image, but if you're not a fan of that artwork, you can also reverse the cover and have an alternate image, which I believe is the original poster artwork. A brand new image by Sean Longmore has been created for the disc, and with this edition there is a 32-page booklet included. So that was The Blood Beast Terror from 1968. Next one to show you is Curse of the Crimson Altar. This is a British horror from 1968, which sees the director Vernon Sewell team up again with the editor Harold Lanning, who I mentioned just now in The Blood Beast Terror. This movie is about a missing man called Peter Manning. Have his brother Robert, being played by Mark Eden, who goes looking for his brother at his last known location, which is Craxton Lodge. And when he arrives at the lodge, there is a party in full swing. Now the owner, Mr. Morley, denies Peter's ever been there, lying through his teeth. Morley is being played by Christopher Lee. And it's getting a little bit late in the evening, so Morley insists that Robert stay overnight as some kind of compensation for wasting his time. Also at the lodge is Lavinia, being played by Barbara Steele. Now, Barbara's been in a lot of movies in her career, particularly horror movies. Pit and the Pendulum, Black Sunday, Castle of Blood, Angel for Satan, Nightmare Castle, and many, many more. Lavinia in this is a direct descendant of a witch from the 1600s who, before being burnt at the stake, put a curse on the village of Greymarsh, where the Craxton Lodge is situated. I will say that burning the witches, for the most part, is inaccurate. 99 times out of 100 they were actually hung. Anyway, digressing. And so I'm going to say story-wise, but I will also mention it stars Boris Karloff as Professor John Marsh, who is an expert on the witches and the occult. This was Boris Karloff's last movie, and it's sad to see because he's in a wheelchair. There's also Michael Gough as the movie's savant. Now, a savant is a character who warns the protagonist of impending doom, which is my favourite character in any horror film. Michael also appeared as Alfred in the 1989 to 1997 versions of Batman. Also, the audio commentary on this features insights from Sean Hogan and Kim Newman. It's worth checking out if you get the time. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 27 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the slipcover and the cover have the same image. But yes, with these Tygon releases, you can reverse that image and have the original poster as your cover image. Sean Longmore has done it again and created a completely separate image for the disc. And with this edition, there is a 24-page booklet included. So that was Curse of the Crimson Altar from 1968. Okay, next to Nas is a title which I've upgraded. I've heard the picture quality on this was of noticeable improvement. And that movie is Vertical Limit, put out by 88 Films. It's a disaster action thriller put out in the year 2000, directed by Martin Campbell. His films include GoldenEye, Mask of Zorro and Casino Royale from 2006. This film opens up with a tragic climbing incident which kills several people, including Royce Garrett, being played by Stuart Wilson, who's actually worked with the director before in Mask of Zorro. Now, joining Royce on this climb are his children, and they are Peter, being played by Chris O'Donnell, and Annie, being played by Robin Tunney. You may know Robin from the TV show The Mentalist, which she played the character of Lisbon. Very good show, recommend that one. I should point out actually that Peter had to cut through his father's safety cord in order to save his own life and that of his sisters, an order given to him by his father. And after that, Peter gives up climbing, but his sister doesn't. In fact, she goes a little bit further and she's in charge of a dangerous climb to the summit of K2, which is funded. And also joining her on that climb is the wealthy and sleazy millionaire by the name of Elliot Vaughan, played brilliantly by Bill Paxton. I won't say any more story-wise. I will also mention it stars Scott Glenn as Montgomery Wick. He lost his wife to K2. He suspects Elliot has something to do with it, so you can see where that storyline is headed. There's also Alexander Siddig as Kareem Nazir. He's one of the rescue climbers. You'll know him from DS9. He played the character of Julian Bashir. Plus there's also Nicholas Lee. He is Tom in this. He's a climber who falls into an ice crevice with Annie and Elliot. You'll know him from the X-Files. He played the character of Krychek in that. Bit of a nasty pasty. Music in this is provided by James Newton Howard, and very good it was too. Picture quality, as they said, is crystal clear. It's got a runtime of 2 hours 4 minutes. Brilliant film. Let's take a look inside. The slip cover, which is very glossy, and the cover have a different image. The image on the disc, if you turn it on its side, is the same image from the slip cover. And you have a choice of images. You can have that one or the same one as the slip cover. So that was Vertical Limit from the year 2000, which I paid just £5 for. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? And on that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.